Hello, my name is Silke Markowski. I'm a Waldorf early childhood educator in Taos, New Mexico, where I co-founded the Taos Waldorf School. And I recently also released a book called How to Tell Stories to Children. I use nature as a backdrop in my puppet shows, and Joe's grandmother and her granddaughter, and they were both raised on different continents. And I use nature so the background gives everyone a sense of belonging.
Oh, grandmother, so good to see you again. Oh, dear grandchild, I'm glad you came to visit. My mama always told me that you live in a very special place where the eagles fly and all the big birds. That's right. When I was a little girl, I wanted to always fly with the eagles. That's right, and my mama said when you grew up, you flew with a plane all the way to America. Is that right? I did. And you did not speak the language, is that right, grandmother? Well, I spoke it a little bit, but when I was as old as you, I spoke only German. It was a little difficult coming to a place where you don't speak the language. Oh, I believe it, grandmother, but you were not afraid, were you? Oh, no. Every time I got scared, I looked up at the sky and I thought to myself, oh, I wonder what else is there to explore. And is that when you found this mountain? Oh, yes, I found a big, big mountain. And did the people tell you that this mountain will either like you or it will tell you to go away? Oh, yes, Gretel. Your mama told you the story, didn't she? That's right. Will you tell it to me again? Oh, I will. Well, up in the mountain there lives the old, old woman. And she watches out over all the children on the earth. And she has a well, isn't that right? Yes, she has a beautiful mountain spring. It's so clear like crystals. And the water is more precious than gold. Is that right, grandmother? That's right, my dear child. That water has healing power. And you go to that mountain spring quite a bit, don't you, Grandma? I do. That's how I got so old and still feel strong. Because every time you walk up to that mountain, your body gets stronger and stronger. But grandmother, were you never afraid of the giant? Well, that's another story. First, let me tell you about the old grandmother of the mountain. When I first came to her, she asked me to sit down. And she told me that if I wanted to live here, I would have to visit her once a week, because that would make me strong. Because you did not come from a land where there were mountains. That's right, my child. I walked up once a week up that mountain, and she taught me a song. Will you teach me that song too, grandmother? Of course, my child. I'll even take you to the mountain spring. What is the song? Oh, mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Oh, mother, carry me down to the sea. The river is flowing, growing and flowing. The river is flowing down to the sea. Oh, grandmother, that's so beautiful. I thank you for teaching me this song. Oh, you're welcome. Now, that water kept me strong. So did the mountain. And the old grandmother's up there and she watches out. And I'll go and visit you with her. She's still there. How old is she, grandmother? Oh, she's as old can be. probably as old as the earth herself. That's very old, Grandmother. Will you grow to be that old? Oh, no, I'll die at one point. But perhaps when I die, I take my seat next to her. That would be nice. I would visit you. Or perhaps you could go and sit with the stars and I could see you at night. Yeah, that might be a good place to go to as well. But you know the giant that lives in the mountain, he sometimes gets greedy and he likes to eat a lot. Oh, and what? Did you have to bake him a cake? Well, I did. I brought him a big, nice black forest cake the way my mother had told me to make it. But he said it wasn't big enough. And then what did you do, Grandmother? Then I baked him an even bigger cake. And what did he say? It's not big enough. And then what did you do? I went to the grandmother of the mountain and I asked her advice. And what did she say? She told me that I should go to the lightning being and ask him for help. And she told me the way. And I went to the lightning being and he said, I'll cut you a piece of the mountain and you can give him a piece of the mountain cake and he will leave you alone for the rest of your life. Did you do that? Yes, I did. It was the night of the full moon and the lightning struck and it cut a piece of cake out of the big mountain and you can see it right there. And Grandmother, you are so brave. So are you, my child. Oh, Grandmother, I am so glad I found you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom. Every child in the world has a grandmother. And if it doesn't have a grandmother it can talk to, it can go to the grandmother of the mountain and ask to help to grow strong and to drink some of the water. I'll pass that on, Grandmother, to all my cousins and all my relatives. You do that. And remember, when I'm gone, look for me in the stars or up in the mountain, and you'll find me. Oh, Grandmother, you are the best. Oh, so are you, my child. Let's go. Goodbye.